We have talked about a rough blocking of what would work for the scene for us, between the director and me, for example. And then the actor, it's again, you never know, that's one of the beautiful things. The actors come on set and, generally they go into the exact opposite corner of what you think they should be doing or what you would like them to do, because that's where you can light it nicely. Or
I'm much happier if the director's in the room. If they're away down the hall in another room on video village, they're missing a lot. They're missing that kind of interaction, and they're missing actually what's not on camera, because they'll be, if the camera's on you talking to Bruce Willis, the director around the room isn't seeing what Bruce Willis is doing. You want to see the reactions that the camera isn't currently seeing, because that might give you an idea for a shot. So I think if the director's in the room, it's a lot better. On a small monitor, then they can pick up that look from the actor.
I operate the camera, so I tend to be very physically very close to the actors. In fact, much closer than the director, who tends to, these days, be sitting at a monitor some distance away. And it can be, it's a very interesting and quite challenging relationship that you develop with the actors, because you're not the director. You can't give them direction. Quite often at the end of a take, the actors look up for approval. Now, I happen to be the closest person there, so they tend to look to me. I can't give them that approval. It's not my job, and I don't wish to become or to come in between the director and the actors.
So I feel that a cinematographer is not just a techie. He's got to be involved emotionally with the story, but emotionally on the visual side. And the director could be emotionally on the visual side as well, but he is also in charge of the performance. And a combination, and even when I look through the lens, if there's something in the performance, and performers like that as well, that you're looking at a close-up and there's something that you think might not work quite so well, you go to the director and say, do you want to do this again? Because, he sort of seemed to have a hesitation that didn't quite maybe work at that point, and you sort of decide things then.
I don't have the authority to say, go again. The director might be satisfied. Fair enough, and the director will go again if an actor wants to go again, but that dialogue needs to be between the actor and the director, because you can't undercut that director-actor authority. I mean, there are sometimes, you can give reassurance. Sometimes I've asked that we've moved on, and an actor said, was that okay? And I've said, yeah, it really was. It really is, trust the director, he's got what he wants. Because actually a director may be going again for one line out of a 3-minute take, and the director thinks they didn't do so well on the end line, but the director's already got it from a previous take, so he's looking for the beginning line. The actor doesn't necessarily know that, so that you've got to be very careful about what the director's trying to get.
So there's an awful lot of diplomacy that goes on. I smile a lot and sort of look a bit silly, but I can't say anything, not till after the director has spoken to them. And even then, I will never speak directly to an actor about anything that's performance related. I'll speak to the director. And then it's up to the director to decide whether to tell the actors or not.
While shooting, things have been pre-lit, so you arrive and you're just tweaking things like that, see the rehearsal, make sure that what we thought the actors were going to do happens. If it changes, then you change with the change.
At the same time, you have to create a feeling on set that is of comfort to the actors. They have to feel that they're being looked after, that their best interests are being served. And, it's important that they trust the director of photography so that they can perform with confidence.
What I ask is that usually you bring the actors in before they've been made up and before they've been dressed to walk it through and see what they think they might want to do, because that might change where your lights go and it might change where your camera goes. So you work out with them how to block it through. Then you'll talk with the directors about how he wants to cover it, because every director works differently. Some directors will do a wide shot and then cut and do close-ups. Other directors will want a wide shot which develops into a close-up, and so on and so on. Some directors prefer to start with the close-ups to get the performances and work backwards and get the wide shots.
And when I approach lighting as well, I tend to do area lighting so that they can move within the whole locations and not feel constricted to very specific areas. And I think this is quite a modern concept and has come about primarily since the ideas of the French New Wave have become more universally accepted. But it gives the actors a freedom to find the performance within the space.
And if you feel that it needs more movement, the scene needs more movement or less movement, you can talk to the director, and that's when you make those sort of decisions, knowing what the intention of the scene is.
Once the scene is over, everything stops till the director has spoken to the actors. And after that, quite often, if it's a big move or a change of any sort in the positioning of the actors, again, I'll speak to the director first, just to ensure that that there is no confusion in anyone's mind about who is in charge of the film.